You clicked because you want your legs back. Not just stronger. Back. The version of your legs that climbed stairs without thinking. That walked to the car without gripping the door. That carried you through an entire day without burning, shaking, or giving out. If that sounds like what you lost, you are in exactly the right place, because what I am about to share is not about going to a gym. It is not about months of recovery. And it is definitely not about accepting that this is just what getting older feels like. You have probably heard that before. It is just your age. Your legs are going to keep getting weaker. There is not much you can do. That is not just wrong. It is the kind of thinking that robs people your age of years of real, active living. And the people I'm going to tell you about today, people in their 70s, their 80s, even their 90s, are proving it every week. Is this you? You wake up, and before your feet even touch the floor, your legs feel heavy. You stand, and there is a moment, maybe 2 or 3 seconds. You are not sure if they are going to hold you. The stairs in your house have become something you plan around, not something you just use. You used to go up and down without a second thought. Now, you hold the railing every time. And somewhere in the back of your mind, you wonder how long before even that is not enough. If this sounds familiar, keep watching, because what I am about to show you takes 2 minutes. And it specifically targets the exact muscle system responsible for stair climbing, balance, and leg stability in adults over 65. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you are going to understand something about your legs that most doctors never explain. And you are going to have a simple exercise you can start today. Let me tell you about Dorothy. Dorothy is 78 years old, lives alone in a 2-story house. And for almost 2 years, she had been sleeping downstairs on the couch because she was afraid of the stairs to her bedroom. Not because of pain, because of fear. Her legs would tremble, her knees would buckle on the way down. She told her doctor, and he said, quote, "That is pretty normal at your age." She tried leg raises. She tried a stationary bike at her daughter's house. Nothing changed. She was starting to think she would never sleep in her own bedroom again. Then she started doing one specific 2-minute exercise, a standing wall sit with heel raises. Every morning, just 2 minutes. At 3 weeks, she noticed she was gripping the railing less. At 6 weeks, she went up the stairs to her bedroom. Dorothy is not a special case. She is what happens when the right stimulus meets the right muscles at the right time. And in the next few minutes, I am going to explain exactly why and how you can do exactly what Dorothy did. First, let me tell you what is actually happening in your legs, because this is the part that almost nobody explains. And once you understand it, everything changes. Your legs are not weak because you're old. Your legs are weak because of something called fast twitch muscle fiber atrophy. That is a medical term. Let me give you the plain version. You have 2 types of muscle fibers in your legs. Slow twitch fibers, which handle long, steady movement like walking, and fast twitch fibers, which handle quick, powerful bursts, like catching yourself when you start to fall, pushing up off a chair, or stepping up onto a curb. Starting around age 50 and accelerating significantly after 65. The body begins losing fast twitch fibers at a rate of 3 to 5% per decade. And if you are sedentary, The research shows it can be closer to 8% per decade. This is not speculation. A study published in 2019 in the Journal of Applied Physiology followed over 400 adults between the ages of 60 and 90 and found that fast-twitch fiber loss was the single strongest predictor of falls, stair climbing difficulty, and loss of independence, more than joint pain, more than balance, more than cardiovascular fitness. What this means for you is simple. If your legs feel unreliable, if stairs feel dangerous, if getting up from a chair feels like a serious effort, fast-twitch fiber loss is almost certainly a major part of what is happening. And here is the part your doctor probably did not tell you. Fast-twitch fibers can be rebuilt at any age. The stimulus has to be right. The movement has to be specific, but the capacity is there. Even at 90. A landmark study from Tufts University, one of the most cited studies in geriatric exercise science, recruited men and women between the ages of 87 and 96. These were frail nursing home residents. After just 8 weeks of targeted resistance training, they showed an average of 174% improvement in leg strength. 174% in people over 87 in 8 weeks. That number should stop you for a moment because it means the body, your body, is still capable of dramatic change. What most people your age have never been given is the right tool to trigger it. Now, before I show you exactly what that exercise is, I want to tell you about the 3 mistakes that keep most people from ever getting there. Because if you've tried things before and they did not work, it is almost certainly one of these 3 reasons, and none of them are your fault. Here is mistake number 1, and it is the most common one. Most people, when they decide to work on their legs, start with the wrong kind of movement. They do slow, long walks. They do gentle stretching. They do seated leg lifts. These are not bad movements, but they target slow twitch fibers almost exclusively. They do almost nothing for the fast twitch system, the exact system responsible for stair climbing, fall prevention, and leg power. The problem is not effort. The problem is direction. If you've been walking every day and your stairs still feel dangerous, this is probably why. Walking is wonderful, but it is not enough to rebuild the power fibers. You need a specific type of contraction, brief, loaded, standing, that recruits the fast twitch system directly. Instead, you need movements that involve your own body weight, a standing position, and a mild challenge to your stability. Things like wall sits, heel raises, slow step-ups, not machines, not gym equipment, just gravity and your own body, applied correctly. And that difference alone, the right type of movement instead of the right amount of movement, is what separates people who improve from people who plateau. Here is mistake number 2. This one is harder to hear, but I want you to hear it kindly because it is rooted in something completely reasonable. Most people quit before the signal arrives. They try something for 1 week, maybe 2. They do not feel a dramatic difference, and they stop. And what almost no one tells them is that for adults over 65, the first real signals of fast twitch recruitment typically emerge between weeks 2 and 4. Not day 3, not day 10. The biology is not slow because you are old. It is operating on a timeline that simply requires consistency for long enough to cross a threshold. And the people who feel it, the Dorothys on this world, are almost always the ones who did not stop at day 12. This is not about patience. This is about understanding the signal. Your body is not ignoring you. It is calibrating, and once it crosses that threshold, the changes come quickly. Most people report their first real difference in 3 to 4 weeks, not months. Stay with me, because mistake number 3 is the one that almost no one sees coming, and it is the one most likely to be holding you back right now. Here is mistake number 3. People treat their legs in isolation. They focus only on the muscles they can see or feel, the thighs, the calves. But the single most important muscle group for stair climbing and fall prevention in older adults is not the quadriceps. It is the posterior chain. That means your glutes, your hamstrings, and your hip extensors. These muscles are responsible for the pushing off phase of every step. When they are weak, your body compensates. It leans forward. It grips railings harder. It slows down because balance feels uncertain. And over time, that compensation pattern accelerates the very weakness you are trying to fix. Here is what most people do not know. A study published in 2021 in Gait and Posture followed adults over 68 and found that posterior chain strength was a stronger predictor of stair climbing ability than quad strength by a significant margin. The subjects who improved their glute and hamstring activation showed measurable improvements in stair performance in as few as 4 weeks. So if you have only been doing quad exercises, leg raises, knee extensions, a bike pedaling, you have been working the front of the machine while the engine in the back stays weak. That is mistake number 3. Now that you understand what is actually happening and what the 3 mistakes are, let me give you what you came for. This is the 2-minute exercise. It is called the slow heel raise wall sit. It requires nothing except a wall and your body weight. You can do it in your bedroom, your kitchen, your living room. It specifically targets the fast twitch fibers in your calves, quadriceps, glutes, and hamstrings simultaneously, while also training the stabilizer muscles around your ankle and knee, which are the first line of defense against falls on stairs. Here is exactly how to do it. Step 1. Stand with your back flat against a wall. Your feet should be about shoulder width apart, roughly 12 to 18 inches from the wall. Your heels should be on the floor. Step 2. Slowly slide your back down the wall until your knees are at a comfortable angle, somewhere between 90 and 130 degrees. You do not need to go all the way down to a 90-degree squat. Go only as far as is comfortable for your knees. A shallow wall sit is completely effective. The key is that your back stays flat against the wall and your weight is in your heels, not your toes. Step 3.
Once you are in that position, slowly raise both heels off the floor. Rise up onto the balls of your feet. Hold for 2 seconds at the top.
Then slowly lower your heels back down. That is 1 repetition. Step 4. Do this for 2 minutes. Raise and lower. Slow and controlled. Each full repetition should take about 4 seconds. That gives you roughly 30 repetitions over 2 minutes. If you need to rest for 10 seconds in the middle, rest. Then continue. Step 5. When you are done, slowly slide back up the wall. Take a breath. You are finished. That is the entire exercise. 2 minutes, no equipment, no gym, no lying on the floor and struggling to get back up. Now, Let me explain why it works, because this is important. The wall provides back support, which removes the fear of losing balance. The number one reason older adults avoid leg strengthening exercises in the first place. The squat position loads the quadriceps and glutes under your body weight. And the heel raise component, that slow rise onto the ball of your foot, is one of the most powerful triggers for fast twitch fiber recruitment in the calf and lower leg that exist in exercise science. It mimics the exact pushing off motion you use on every stair step. When you do this movement slowly, the slow lowering phase, called the eccentric contraction, is where the actual muscle rebuilding signal fires most strongly. Research published in 2022 in the European Journal of Applied Physiology found that eccentric calf loading in adults over 65 produced significantly greater fast twitch fiber activation than concentric-only movements, meaning the slow lowering is more important than the rise. Most people rush through the down. Do not. The down is the medicine. Now, I want to be direct with you about something. This is not magic. This is not a cure-all. If you have specific knee conditions, hip replacements, or neurological issues affecting your legs, please consult your doctor before starting any new exercise. And modify the range of motion to whatever is comfortable for you. But for the large majority of adults over 65 who are experiencing leg weakness, stair difficulty, and the early stages of mobility loss. And that is the majority, by the way, not the exception. This exercise targets the exact system that needs attention. And the research on similar protocols is consistent. 2 to 4 weeks for first signals. 6 to 8 weeks for measurable strength gains. Now, I want to give you the keyword CTA for this video because it helps me understand you better and shape what I create next. Comment stairs below if your biggest challenge right now is climbing stairs safely and with confidence. Comment power below if what you want back most is the feeling of strong, reliable legs that can carry you through your whole day. I read every single comment, and your answer is going to shape the next episode directly. Now, here is the part most videos skip, and I promised you something extra, so here it is. There is one thing you can add to this exercise that has been shown to increase fast twitch activation by up to 40%. It is called a single leg heel raise. You do exactly the same movement, but 1 foot at a time. Once you have been doing the two-legged version for at least 2 weeks and you feel comfortable in the wall sit position, add 3 single leg heel raises at the end of each 2-minute set. Left foot, right foot, left foot. Just 3 per side. Then done. The reason this matters is simple. On stairs, you are never on 2 legs at once. You push off from 1 foot. And the single leg version trains your leg the way it actually has to function. 1 side at a time, under full body weight, with the stabilizing demand that stair climbing actually requires. This is the difference between people who improve in the gym but still struggle on stairs, and people who improve in the gym and feel it immediately in their daily life. One more thing before you go. Most people stop on the days when they feel tired or stiff. I understand that. But here is what the research actually shows. The days when your legs feel most tired or heavy before the exercise are often the days when your body is primed to respond most strongly to the stimulus. Mild pre-exercise fatigue in older adults is not a signal to rest. it is often a signal that the adaptive machinery is already active. You do not need to be in pain to skip it, but if you are simply tired, do the 2 minutes anyway. Many people report that those sessions feel the best by the end. Let me close with this. Somewhere in the back of your mind, maybe it has been there for months, maybe longer, is a thought that says the version of yourself who moved freely is gone. That the legs that carried you upstairs without thinking, that walked you through entire days without burning or shaking or giving out, that person is in the past. I want you to know something. That thought is biology talking, not truth. It is the slow voice of fast twitch fibers that have not been stimulated recently. It is not a verdict. It is a condition. And conditions respond to the right input. Dorothy slept in her own bedroom again at week 6. She did not do months of physical therapy. She did not go to a gym. She did 2 minutes a day against a wall. You have the wall. You have the 2 minutes. You have the biology that is ready to respond. Consistency matters more than intensity. Always. Small steps, repeated over weeks, create the kind of change you can actually feel. Not months from now, weeks. If this video helped you understand something about your legs that you did not understand before, please hit the like button. It takes 1 second, and it helps someone else your age, someone who is right now holding onto the railing and wondering if things will ever get better. Find this video and find the same answer you just found. Subscribe so you do not miss the next episode. What I am covering next is directly connected to what we talked about today, specifically the one nutritional factor that either accelerates or blocks fast twitch fiber recovery in adults over 65. Most people are getting it wrong without knowing it. And want you know, it is a simple fix. If you know someone dealing with weak legs, stair difficulty, or the fear of falling, share this with them. You might give them something their doctor has not. Comment, stairs, or power below. I will see you in the next episode.